Dr. Barbara O'Neill warns the #1 enemy that causes poor circulation in your legs. You've likely heard the alarming reports. Poor leg circulation is now a growing epidemic, impacting millions of Americans. In fact, 1 in 3 adults suffer from serious circulation issues, with some even at risk of losing a limb. And maybe you've started feeling it too, numbness, swelling, or that constant ache in your legs. But here's the real nightmare. You have no idea what's causing it, let alone how to stop it. Well, today we're lucky to have Dr. Barbara O'Neill, an expert in natural health, to shine a light on this invisible enemy. The artery, but why is the build-up there? It's because of the high sugar, high wheat, high alcohol diet. And what you just heard is exactly what Dr. Barbara O'Neill warns about, the build-up in your arteries. But can you completely avoid it? The answer is no. Why? Because it's caused by the very lifestyle choices many of us are making every day. But in today's video, I'm going to share with you safe and effective solutions to combat this dangerous build-up. Solutions that you can start using right now to protect your circulation. So let's dive in and expose this first hidden threat to your health. Your legs and your life might just depend on it. 1. Caffeine. Caffeine, found in coffee, energy drinks, sodas, and even chocolate, is so deeply ingrained in American culture that we don't think twice before gulping it down. It gives us energy, keeps us alert, and for many it's non-negotiable. But have you ever stopped to consider what's happening to your blood vessels each time you consume caffeine? Caffeine, a known vasoconstrictor, causes blood vessels to tighten, reducing blood flow, particularly to your extremities, your legs and feet. According to research from the American Heart Association, consuming more than 400 mg of caffeine per day, about 4 cups of coffee, can shrink blood vessels by up to 27%. This is particularly alarming if you're already prone to poor circulation, as it exacerbates symptoms like cold feet, numbness, and even severe cramps. What might surprise you is that caffeine also disrupts the absorption of magnesium, a critical mineral that helps regulate blood flow. The irony is that while caffeine may perk you up, it's silently squeezing the life out of your legs. Even worse, a study published in Vascular Health and Risk Management found that chronic caffeine consumption doesn't just restrict blood flow temporarily, it can lead to long-term vascular stiffness, making circulation issues even more pronounced over time. Imagine feeling a constant chill in your feet or tingling that never quite goes away. That's what your daily caffeine habit could be setting you up for. Shockingly, even moderate caffeine consumption can worsen circulatory issues for those already at risk. But here's an unexpected tip. Adding cinnamon to your coffee can help mitigate some of the damage. Cinnamon is known for its ability to improve circulation, and when combined with coffee could counteract some of caffeine's worst effects. Additionally, swapping out 1 or 2 cups of coffee for ginger tea, another circulation booster, could significantly reduce your risk of long-term damage. And speaking of long-term effects, what about a food that's seemingly harmless yet riddled with hidden dangers? For many of us, wheat is a dietary staple. It's in our bread, our pasta, even our breakfast cereals. But the warm, comforting smell of freshly baked bread hides a villainous secret, one that could be triggering chronic inflammation and wrecking your circulation. Wheat contains gluten, a protein that for some people is far more destructive than you might think. Even if you don't have celiac disease, gluten has been shown to cause low-grade inflammation in the digestive tract. But here's where it gets shocking. Studies, including one published in the Journal of Vascular Medicine, reveal that this inflammation doesn't stay in your gut. It can travel to your blood vessels, causing them to swell and narrow, effectively choking off the blood supply to your legs and feet. The chronic inflammation caused by gluten consumption can lead to vascular damage, exacerbating conditions like peripheral artery disease, PAD. Americans on average consume 132 pounds of wheat flour annually, far more than most other countries. But what's truly alarming is the amount of processed wheat we eat, stripped of fiber and nutrients. These products are nothing more than inflammatory triggers wrapped in a doughy disguise. Consuming even modest amounts of wheat can set off a chain reaction that over time could lead to debilitating symptoms like swollen legs, varicose veins, and even painful cramping. While cutting out gluten completely can help, switching to sourdough bread may offer some relief. The fermentation process in sourdough breaks down gluten, making it easier to digest and less inflammatory. Alternatively, switching to ancient grains like quinoa or amaranth can help restore balance to your blood vessels and reduce inflammation. And if you think wheat is bad, wait until we discuss the sweet substance you likely consume every day, often without even realizing it. Sugar has been the darling of our diet for decades, creeping its way into nearly everything we eat, from breakfast cereals to salad dressings. Sugar is hiding in plain sight, quietly sabotaging our health. And when it comes to circulation, sugar is perhaps the most insidious culprit of all. When you consume sugar, it leads to a spike in blood glucose levels, which triggers the release of insulin. Over time, this cycle of sugar highs and insulin surges leads to insulin resistance, a condition that has devastating effects on your circulation. According to the American Diabetes Association, excess sugar in the bloodstream damages the walls of your blood vessels, causing them to become stiff and narrow. This stiffening process reduces the flow of oxygen-rich blood to your legs and feet, leading to coldness, numbness, and even severe pain over time. What's truly shocking is the sheer amount of sugar Americans consume, 77 grams per day, more than triple the recommended amount. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 25 grams per day for women and 36 grams for men. But most of us exceed that before lunch. Even worse, research from Circulation found that high sugar consumption increases the risk of developing circulation issues by 29%, even in otherwise healthy adults. The damage sugar inflicts is cumulative, meaning that over time, the stiffness in your blood vessels becomes more pronounced, leading to a cascade of symptoms from tingling toes to leg cramps so severe they wake you up at night. Instead of reaching for a sugary snack, try dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher. Not only does it satisfy your sweet tooth, but the flavonoids in dark chocolate have been shown to improve blood flow and reduce vascular stiffness. Even better, adding cinnamon to your diet can help control blood sugar levels and prevent some of the damage caused by insulin resistance. And if you think sugar is bad, just wait until we get into the salty, fatty indulgence that everyone loves to hate. 4. Cheese. Who doesn't love cheese? Whether it's melted over pizza or sprinkled on top of a salad, cheese is a beloved indulgence. But behind its creamy, salty goodness lies a disturbing reality. Cheese is packed with saturated fat, which has been linked to elevated LDL, bad cholesterol levels. This cholesterol builds up in your arteries, leading to blockages that restrict blood flow. According to research from the National Institutes of Health, a diet high in saturated fats, such as those found in cheese, increases the risk of peripheral artery disease (PAD) by 33%. For someone already struggling with poor circulation, this is a recipe for disaster. But that's not all. Cheese is also loaded with sodium, which causes water retention and increases blood pressure. This 1-2 punch of fat and salt can severely restrict the blood flow to your legs and feet, leaving you with swollen ankles, throbbing pain, and a circulatory system that's on the verge of collapse. What's even more alarming is how much cheese Americans consume, 40 pounds per person per year. That's a staggering amount, considering that just 1 ounce of cheese contains 6 grams of saturated fat, almost 30% of the recommended daily intake. Over time, this excess fat and salt accumulates in your blood vessels, slowly choking off the flow of oxygen and nutrients to your extremities. If you can't give up cheese, here's a tip you probably haven't heard. Switch to feta or goat cheese, which contain less saturated fat and sodium. Additionally, adding lemon or leafy greens to your cheesy dishes can help offset some of the circulatory damage by improving blood flow, reducing inflammation. And speaking of fatty indulgences, there's one more hidden danger we haven't yet addressed. 5. Animal butter and animal fats. Animal butter, rich, creamy, and irresistible, has been a staple of many diets for centuries. Whether it's melted over toast, folded into pastries, or used to saute your favorite vegetables, the indulgent taste of butter is hard to resist. But behind that golden sheen lies a dangerous truth. Animal butter and other animal fats are some of the most concentrated sources of saturated fat, a key contributor to poor circulation. When you consume saturated fats, they don't simply get stored in your body as extra energy. Instead, these fats clog your arteries, causing atherosclerosis, a condition where the artery walls thicken and harden due to plaque buildup. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, high saturated fat intake can increase the risk of peripheral artery disease (PAD) by 22% in adults over 50. This means every time you slather butter on your toast, you're potentially setting yourself up for a future of restricted blood flow, leg cramps, and severe circulatory issues. Even more concerning, animal butter isn't the only culprit. Lard, tallow and other animal fats, often used in traditional cooking, are equally problematic. These fats are loaded with cholesterol, which raises your LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and accelerates the buildup of fatty deposits in your arteries. Over time, this leads to restricted blood flow to your extremities, causing symptoms like numbness, cold feet, and even ulcers that take longer to heal. A shocking statistic: 1 tablespoon of butter contains about 7 grams of saturated fat, accounting for 35% of your daily recommended intake. For those who use butter in every meal, this quickly adds up, putting your heart and circulation at serious risk. To make matters worse, many people believe that switching to margarine or vegetable shortening is a healthier option, but these alternatives often contain trans fats, which are even more harmful to your blood vessels. So what can you do? Instead of reaching for animal butter, try cooking with avocado oil or olive oil, both of which are high in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats that can actually improve circulation. Another surprising alternative is ghee, clarified butter, which, while still high in fat, contains more beneficial compounds that may have less impact on artery health. Additionally, incorporating omega-3 rich foods like salmon or flax seeds into your diet can help counteract the negative effects of saturated fat and improve overall blood flow. And speaking of indulgences, there's one more food group that poses an even greater threat. 6. Red meat and processed meats. Red meat, juicy steaks, sizzling burgers, and succulent lamb chops is the centerpiece of many meals. For many, it's synonymous with comfort food, celebration, and indulgence. But what if that satisfying bite of steak was also delivering a deadly blow to your circulatory system? Red meat and processed meats are among the worst offenders when it comes to clogging your arteries and compromising blood flow to your legs and feet. Red meat is packed with saturated fat and cholesterol, both of which contribute to the development of atherosclerosis, the same artery hardening condition that can lead to restricted circulation. A study published in the European Heart Journal found that consuming more than 100 grams of red meat per day increases the risk of peripheral artery disease (PAD) by 24%. What's even more disturbing is that red meat consumption has been linked to higher levels of TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide, a chemical produced by gut bacteria after digesting certain compounds in red meat. TMAO has been shown to accelerate the formation of artery-blocking plaque, making red meat a silent killer for your circulation. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, ham, and hot dogs pose an even greater threat. These meats are not only high in saturated fat, but also loaded with sodium and preservatives like nitrates, which cause inflammation in the blood vessels and further restrict blood flow. Shockingly, research from the Harvard School of Public Health revealed that eating just 50 grams of processed meat per day, about 2 slices of bacon, increases the risk of circulatory problems by 42%. That's a staggering statistic when you consider how many of us enjoy processed meats regularly, whether it's a quick breakfast, a deli sandwich for lunch, or a grilled hot dog at a barbecue. What makes these numbers even more alarming is the cumulative effect. Over time, the damage caused by red and processed meats builds up, causing chronic inflammation in your blood vessels, which can eventually lead to blockages, varicose veins, and even the need for surgery to restore blood flow to your legs. So what can you do to protect your arteries without giving up meat entirely? Here's a little known tip: switch to plant-based protein sources like lentils, chickpeas, or tofu. Not only do these foods improve circulation, but they're also rich in fiber, which helps lower cholesterol and reduce inflammation. Additionally, choosing leaner cuts of meat, such as chicken or turkey, and incorporating fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids can help maintain healthy blood flow and prevent artery damage. If you've been struggling to maintain your health, it's time to take action. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you're facing difficulties in protecting your well-being, please comment below. We're here to walk this journey with you. To summarize, neglecting your circulation can lead to severe consequences, such as pain and mobility issues that can drastically affect your quality of life. It's crucial to address these warning signs before it's too late. While you wait for our next video, check out the one I've linked on the screen to discover more tips for safeguarding your health. Your journey towards better health starts now.